Good man, and you?
Fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Have a good day.
Right out there, bruh. He was stoked.
He was very stoked.
Phenomenal.
Comfy?
Yeah, that fucking boat is annoying though.
Huh? The boat.
Oh, it's our boat.
It's our boat.
Yo, can you come pick up one more guest and drop off? Can you maybe more like to the left or in the channel, because I cannot see with the video. The boat is in front of the wave. Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, brother. Okay, see, thank you. Bye.
Welcome everyone to the first ever Ruaridh Diary podcast. On the beach with Dave and Rue.
David Rue, let's go. Sponsored by Moon Rocks,
Hydro Flask.
Hydro Flask. And we were drinking coffee, but I guess not anymore.
That got finished. We are currently on the beach in Nusa Lembongan.
Nusa Lembongan.
Lembongan. Filming half of the crew who are surfing at Razors right now. And we thought, we do this every day. We sit next to each other, we film, we shoot, and why not do a little podcast type thing?
Yeah.
And just chat shit, talk about surfing, talk about the trips, talk about Ticket to Ride,
Exactly.
talk about how the trip's going right now, favorite bits,
Cool.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna quickly put this in the air.
Okay. It's gonna be pretty holistic. We haven't scripted anything, so it should be fun. See what we come up with. Like we said, we're normally just sitting talking shit anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
it
nicely
should be
recorded. So yeah, Rue's about to throw the drone up, but at the moment we've got Amelia up and riding. Oh, go on. Oh,
She looking?
she's looking. She also did a lovely little bottom turn. Sick.
Lovely.
Usually we'll be on the boat taking photos from the boat, but today, like Rue said, we're trying something different, and at least the guys get to see videos of themselves surf, which is quite awesome as well. As you would imagine, being on a boat, shooting, taking photos, or I guess even filming, can be quite challenging because of, how the boat moves, how the boat rocks from side to side. So yeah, fun little activity, I think, huh?
Ooh, who's in the bucket hat?
Lucy or Marius? No, Marius has got his helmet on. So yeah, a little bit about where we are and what's happening. We in our fourth week of our Ticket To Ride 6-week Indonesia surf trip. We're currently on the second island. So the first island was Lombok. We're now in Nusa Lembongan, which is closer to Bali. And yeah, this is kind of like a holiday, sort of like honeymoon island, and you'll find it's like super pretty, really good for diving, but also really good for surfing. We get some of the best waves out here, and these waves also kind of change a lot as the swell changes, the tide changes. Got a couple of spots, so mainly shipwrecks, Razors, which is where the guys are now. It's a more sort of beginner to intermediate spot, and also advanced, and then you've got lacerations on the other side. I mean, all the spots are super well known, so we're not giving away any secrets here. But yeah, really good for advancing, surfing shallower reefs, waves with a bit more consequence. Most times when the waves are bigger, this wave does barrel all of these spots. So it's a really good spot for, advanced surfers. And then even when, it's a bit smaller like it is today, it's fun, some nice cruisy rolling waves, some hollower parts of the wave, but all in all really fun and super beautiful. The water's like crystal clear, so you can see the coral at the bottom and obviously some beautiful fish that come with it. And yeah, I think the guys are super stoked to be here. Obviously we had an incredible week in Lombok.
Yeah, great week in Lombok.
I think, yeah.
Consistent waves.
Yeah.
Good weather.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
Not too busy, actually.
Not too busy, fortunately. It does get quite busy on those parts of, the island, but, luckily we time it quite well, and we end up getting out there with, as little crowd as possible. As you would imagine, like Indo is, I would say it's up and coming, but it's not really. I think people have been coming here for years.
Yeah.
But the more people kind of hear about Indonesia and how fun it is, the more they kind of want to experience it. As we see Marius is up and riding there.
So how long have you been doing this trip with Ticket to Ride?
This would be like my 4th year. doing it with Ticket To Ride.
India.
So Indonesia, yeah.
And how long have you been with Ticket To Ride?
I've been with Ticket To Ride for almost 8 years now, 7, 8 years. I mean, the first time I ran this trip was 2020 or 2019. And then we had that gap in between where it was COVID and stuff like that. And then I came back out here in 2022. So we're now in 2025. And yeah, I mean, probably going to be running lots more of these as the years progress. It is quite a hot spot for us. So we generally get quite a few people booking on these trips. And, you know, not just the 6 week, but obviously the 2 weeks, the 4 weeks and the 6 weeks, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, thank you.
thank you. And yeah, I mean, you know, we've been running this trip for probably 10 years now. A lot of different coaches that have come through, trip leaders. But I guess what we're trying to do with Ticket To Ride is trying to keep the coaches and the trip leaders consistent throughout the trips.
Yeah.
So even if you've been to Sri Lanka or even if you've been to South Africa, you would have met some of your coaches and trip leaders on those trips as well, you know. And yeah, I guess that keeps the coaching consistent as well, which is quite awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part of the Indo trip? So the 6 weeks, 2 weeks in Bali, 2 weeks island hopping, Lombok and Nusa Lembongan,
Yeah.
and then 2 weeks is the Bali road trip,
Bali road trip,
which
yeah.
is Balian.
Balian and then
Madawi.
Madawi, yeah, Madawi. It's man, it's so difficult to pick a favorite because, you know, I'm a goofy, and this is the land of the lefts. So, and I love going left. I like going right as well.
For people that don't know anything about surfing, maybe they're watching this for some reason. What is
Fantastic,
what
welcome.
What does goofy mean?
Goofy means that I stand up with my right leg forward and my left leg behind. And if you were a goofy surfer, that's how you would surf. If you're a regular surfer, you would generally surf the opposite direction. Good man, and you? Oh yeah.
Have a good day.
Right out there, bruh. He was stoked.
He was very stoked.
Phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to pick a favorite part of the trip because, like, the islands is so beautiful and the waves are so diverse. And then check the rain in Bali.
Yeah.
Sherbet. And then obviously when you get back to Bali, we've got Balian and Madawi, which is like a little bit more sort of rustic. It's like kind of a little bit further outside of like the heart of Canggu and stuff, or at least the heart of Bali, the island of Bali. But there's some really good waves that are generally uncrowded or less crowded, so to speak. So,
Yeah.
I mean, especially with us being here on this shoulder part of the season, waves are still super consistent, not too massive. But yeah, I mean, I guess to cut that one short, I'd probably say the road trip is probably one of my favorite parts. I definitely enjoy the islands and definitely enjoy Nusa Lembongan. But I mean, once you go up to Balian, you've got like this really fun left-hander that runs for ages all the way to the inside. And then you've also got Madawi, which is the longest left-hand point break in Bali, consistently on the west coast of Bali. Someone up and riding there as well.
Oh, everyone's missing waves.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That was your favorite one.
Yeah. But it's all,
Just
like I
because
say.
it's all lefts?
No, I
mainly?
think just the general vibe, you know, Madawi is like quite a like surf town.
Uh-huh.
So it's like one little road that like leads to the beach, and then you get there and it's like a beautiful point break. With, yeah, like we say, some of the longest waves in Bali. And then Balian is just like, we stay at like a resort that's right on the beach. So you wake up and you see the waves.
Kind
You
of like
walk-
what we do here.
Yeah, exactly. You walk 10 meters, you're on the sand. Another 10 meters, you're in the water. You know, it's like, it's pretty amazing. So I think just the general setup is like pretty unmatched. And then of course, the waves are also really great, as are most of the waves in Indonesia. This is why people come here. But not as crowded, you know, and super consistent.
I've been really surprised with how uncrowded it is here.
Yeah,
Because obviously, Canggu is a popular spot for a lot of people.
yeah,
It's got waves,
yeah.
but in my opinion, was maybe a little too crowded for my liking.
Yeah,
And the fact that it's all mostly reef breaks.
Yes.
If I paddle out on a busy day, I'll like to find 2 different peaks.
Yeah.
And then swap between the 2 depending on how busy they get.
Yeah, for sure.
So for my liking, it was a little bit too crowded. Still good.
I guess the difference is that this is a little less accessible, right? You kind of have to take a ferry.
You got to get a boat here.
Got to get a boat here. So, and there's no like in Lombok, you've got like international airport. So people flying from all over Malaysia, Singapore, Australia. You know, Singapore. I mean, I said Singapore again.
Yeah, just
Philippines.
all over. Yeah,
Philippines. So and I guess there's also like waves pretty much throughout the year. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like you would expect it to be more sort of busier. And I guess a lot of people have been going to like Canggu and obviously Bali, the island for many years, you know. But I guess there's still a hype around that sort of vibe. And then you've got people that are learning to surf. Like, I guess the difference that, you know, in terms of the wave quality, I guess the waves are slightly better this side.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have more better progressive surfers out here than you would have in, say, Canggu or, you know, Kute area or whatever the case may be.
Less aggravated people in the lineup over here.
For sure. I mean, also, you know, the locals are super friendly, but they generally... Well, that's not...
Go on, Ollie.
That's not Ollie. Oh,
yes,
on behind.
Oh, you missed
they're
it.
missing the waves. I know, you know, this thing about localism always comes up, and the guys in Nusa Lembongan are super friendly, and they're really good surfers. And I guess maybe it's just because like Bali is so packed with people that, you know, the people in the water are just a little bit more irritated. I don't know. I think you know, surfing is a sport that needs to be shared amongst the masses, you know. But I think at the same time, people also need to respect the lineup in a sense of, you know, better surfers out there and also just following the rules. I think a lot of people don't get taught the rules of surfing and the etiquette from an early sort of stage of their surfing journey, so to speak. And I guess maybe that's where, you know, people need to be more educated with that.
Yeah.
There needs to be more surf schools that are educating their surfers among, you know, for that reason, and not just taking them out because they feel like they need to, you know, share. They need to give them an experience. Like, yeah, it's great. People want to learn to surf, but they want to have a great experience. But, you know, generally surfing is like an addiction. Once you get bitten, it's like you just want to keep doing it over and over and over.
I compare surfing a lot to golf in a way that you hit the perfect golf shot and then you search your entire life for that same perfect golf shot.
Well, it's funny.
With surfing, it's catching that wave that you ride and you do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you have to paddle out back and try and find it again.
Yeah. And it's time consuming, right? And it doesn't always happen the first time or second time. It takes ages for it to happen. And obviously with the correct technique,
oh no.
With the correct technique, it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you also just learn the better technique yeah. Well, it's quite interesting because I was I don't know who the guy was, but there's like quite a famous artist or musician that was talking about retiring from, well, not retiring, but like basically was a drug addict and started playing golf.
And then what?
And then basically replaced his drug addiction, alcohol and drugs, whatever, with
golf.
With golf, yeah. Whereas he was saying like a lot of people do it the opposite way. They like start playing golf and then they do drugs. But yeah, I think he was just comparing the addiction part of it. Oh, go on, Ollie. You know, to golf or the similarities in between. So I thought that was quite interesting. And it's the same thing with surfing, right? It's go on. Oops.
Nice wave.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love playing golf as well. But you know what they say about golf? It's like basically it's like it's a retirement sport, right?
Oh, I love golf.
So it's
try to play. Me and Charlie play golf every Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're only in our 30s.
But what is it like in UFC, Israel Adesanya? There's like he had to take he took a break from UFC, from MMA, like fighting and stuff, and took up golf. And then
Good for him.
And then, well, then Drikas was comparing that to like, well, saying it was a retirement sport. He's like, hey man, you retired. Why are you coming back to
Oh, why are you coming back to UFC?
to UFC? Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it's only really a retirement sport because it's really accessible after you retire, because you have lots more time.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, it makes sense. Whereas I think with surfing, it's like one of those sports that's never ending. You never really master it. You know, you kind of get to a good level,
you're
and you just
constantly trying to get better.
better. Yeah.
Which is what I like about surfing. It's kind of like a problem to solve every time you paddle out. Find out where the peak is.
Yeah.
Find out how the wave breaks when you're on it. And then every time you catch that wave, especially when you're in somewhere like the UK, that wave will crash differently every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think just generally, wherever you are in the world, waves are constantly changing. And that's what makes, I guess, as a coach, it kind of makes my job more difficult and more challenging. But it also motivates me to master that aspect of it. Because when you're teaching someone, it's a completely different story, especially someone that's never learned or never surfed before in their lives, you know? Oh, Lucy.
Nice.
So to make people understand that is kind of challenging, especially when, like I say, the waves are changing so much.
Yeah.
Also, what makes Ticket To Ride so great is that we actually put that effort into trying to teach you those kind of things.
So if someone was watching this to try and find some information about going on a Ticket to Ride surf trip,
yeah,
what would someone expect when they go on one? Like, to book yourself onto a trip, it's because I would say it's more of a, you'd go to Ticket to Ride to get better at surfing.
Yeah.
But then to also have a little bit of an adventure as well. Yeah, I mean, especially our trips rather than the surf house.
Yeah, we always talk about taking your surfing to the next level, right? I mean, so it really it's not dependent on how good you are at that moment in time. Like, you could be at a really good level of surfing, but you want to take your surfing to the next level. Ticket to Ride is the company that's going to take you there, based on the techniques that we use for coaching, based on the adventures and the locations, the surf spots that we surf, you know.
Yeah.
And also just the general philosophy of Ticket to Ride, because again, like I was saying earlier, it's for me, it's like a proud moment when I hear about people going on Ticket to Ride trips, and then hearing them go on other trips without coaches or anything, and just how well they've done, because they've learned the basics and they've learned it so well that they can just go out and go surf safely, competently, without having a coach in the water.
No.
But I think with that, like you said, the adventure side of things, and again, this is why we're an adventure. I always tell people what is Ticket To Ride? I say we're a surf travel agency.
Yeah.
Because we take people on adventures. We also teach you how to become really good surfers.
Come on, Donna.
Yes, Donna.
Oh no.
I'm hoping that boat moves.
The boat is
the boat that's right there. And so in a nutshell, that's kind of the idea. If you're looking for an adventure, but you're also wanting to take your surfing to the next level, without sounding too biased, Ticket To Ride is definitely the company that's going to do that.
Yeah, and I would agree. Like I did my first Ticket To Ride trip in 2010.
Yeah.
I'd never really surfed before. I'd maybe surfed once or twice in Perranporth.
Yeah.
And then came to South Africa. And then, like we sort of talked about with the golf thing, is you get addicted to it. And then even coming back to Ticket To Ride in 2019, 9 years later, having not surfed pretty much at all.
Yeah.
And then loving it probably even more, getting better at it, and then ultimately working for the company.
Well, that's also an interesting one, right? We obviously have a ISA Surf Academy, these 10-week academies that we bring people on, or people book on, and no matter what your level is, we'll get you to the level to be able to become a beginner instructor. Teach people how to pop up on unbroken or broken waves and unbroken waves. But I mean, for you, because you've been on 2 of those trips, right? You've obviously done South Africa and Sri Lanka. did you see yourself kind of like looking at Ticket to Ride and going, oh, that's something that I wanted to do? Or did you just naturally find yourself sort of veering towards that sort of pathway as a career?
Yeah, so I mean, used to be a musician and then decided I wanted to move away from that. And I didn't really have a plan. The plan was to just go away and have another sort of gap year after working for so long.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just going to bring my drone back because it's running out of battery. Oh no, as I bring it back. Yeah, my plan was just to take a gap year, figure it out was the plan. And I realized I was still relatively good at surfing, and that I passed my ISA, I became a qualified coach, and then Max got me in touch with Ju.
Yeah.
And I got a job for Ticket to Ride as a surf coach, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. And then I picked up my photography again and pitched that to Ticket to Ride. And now we're here making a podcast
like
on a
podcast
beach.
on a beach.
Life works out quite well sometimes.
Yeah. Again, also it fits into the perfect philosophy of Ticket to Ride. Life's good.
Yeah,
Always,
and also
I mean,
the cool thing with Ticket to Ride is they've also helped me work on my skills as a photographer.
I think that for me is like the biggest thing as well. It's such a progressive company in that sense, you know. Like one thing that was so progressive with my journey with Ticket to Ride is that I was asked when Chris Bond was still involved to come and help out run the South Africa trip in Cape Town.
Yeah.
I was working for another, if you guys don't know this already, I was working for another company called Stoke School of Surf. Back in Cape Town, we were a mobile surf school, so it helped. That just working for them helped me sort of gain the attributes of being able to take people on a little trip. You know, we used to do surf trips over the weekend. It means I'd have to pick people up, greet them in a very professional manner, take them surfing, then drop them off. You know, there was this whole process involved, and through that, whoa, don't know who that was. Through that, I obviously managed to earn, you know, with my, or you go do that quickly.
I'll go do this first.
Yeah, obviously with my coaching ability, earn the right to, you know, to work for Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, got the opportunity through Chris Bond, and not even a week into that Cape Town trip, got asked to go to Sri Lanka and run a surf trip with Max.
Yeah.
Right? And then through that, oh, go on, Freddie. You're too deep, mate. Through that, obviously with hard work, determination, I was able to sort of secure a position as a trip leader and coach on those trips for a few seasons in Sri Lanka. To the point where, you know, we ended up building like this core group of people that were able to, open up the surf house, Ticket to Ride Surf House Sri Lanka, and that's how the surf house was discovered, or you know, made, whatever, manufactured, produced.
Genesis.
Yeah. And then, from that, it kind of became a platform for us to develop coaches, to develop, you know, people that had the passion for surfing, that wanted to get better at surfing.
Because that's actually, let me jump in. That's actually one of the cool things that we do now, which I kind of did it in a different way, where I did a trip and then went back to the UK and learned how to be an ABC coach in the UK. And then eventually, 2 years after coaching in the UK for a couple of years, Ticket to Ride said, do you want to come to Sri Lanka and run a trip?
Yeah.
So Lucy and I then ran that trip.
Yeah.
But nowadays, we're kind of churning out coaches, and whenever we see someone that fits in with the group, like Cooper, Cooper only did his 10-week trip in Sri Lanka last season.
Yeah, the beginning of last season, yeah.
So the fact that we now...
Or beginning of last year, so that would have been 2 seasons ago.
The fact that Ticket to Ride now keeps an eye on who is doing the 10-week trip, 5-week trip, earning their ISA, to then go, do your hours with us, come coach for us, and then you end up like Cooper and you're on an Indo trip with David.
Well, exactly. That's we've created that platform for people that have the passion for the sport and also for people and sharing experiences and coaching to be able to.
You can tell with Cooper, he loves coaching.
Yeah, it's just I think you'll tell with any surf coach that comes through or Triple E that comes through Ticket to Ride. You know, we have the right people for the job, man. That's the thing. This is why I'm so proud of what we've built in terms of like that platform. Not just me, obviously myself, Nikita, Max, Lucy, you, everybody that was involved in the surf house. We've built this platform to bring the right people because it's so difficult, you know. And this is just you've seen it, I've seen it. Like you get people on trips that become trip leaders or coaches, and maybe they do one trip and then it's like, well, actually, maybe you're not the right person for the job, you know. And so it's a good platform to be able to just basically have the right people, churn out good coaches, good trip leaders, people that fit sort of the vibe of Ticket to Ride. And you know, some may argue like we mass producing surf coaches, but in the right way.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the right way. I don't think anybody can look at us and go, "Oh, you're doing a bad thing for the industry." No, I think when you're doing it the way that Ticket to Ride do it, we bring the right people to the party and they get the job done, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's such an important thing because there's a lot of coaches out there that are just coaching for the sake of coaching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a seasonal job. I get to earn some money. And you look at most of the Ticket to Ride coaches and trip leaders that come through, they either, if they're not with Ticket to Ride, they've gone on to work for other companies that do similar things.
This was what I wanted to get on, was we've had, since working in the surf school, we've had a lot of Ticket to Ride graduates, so to speak, come and coach for us when we had the surf school in the UK.
Yeah.
And say we didn't have enough lessons going at the time or whatever, or it was like shoulder season, they would go off and coach for other surf schools. And being friends with a lot of those managers and a lot of those surf school owners, their feedback is really good of like, oh, that coach that you sent our way was really good.
Yeah.
Doesn't, what we call like sitting ankle deep with your hands behind your back, watching a lesson.
Well, that
is not how we coach, especially ABC lessons as well.
It's pretty much the first thing that I was taught as a surf coach when I started coaching in 2014.
Yeah.
Was that's, you know, as a surf coach, you need to be hands-on. You don't coach by standing with your hands behind your back watching surfers.
Yeah.
You know, it's especially beginner surfers, more specifically. Nowadays, what we do is different because, or at least, you know, I guess my level of coaching, because you need to sort of take a little step back, have a look and see what these guys are doing wrong on a wave.
Yeah.
Giving them an in-water feedback. I mean, you guys will see it when we do our trips on the islands. We have a boat in the water and the guys get a chance to come to the boat. We give them in-water feedback. That's more important because we've built the foundation for these guys. We've taught them how to pop up properly, how to paddle and catch their own waves, you know. But then you still have a coach in the water that's supervising them and giving them in-water feedback. And then you also have, like myself, sitting on the boat, shooting, giving you more feedback. And again, it just comes down to, you know, what we offer as a surf travel agency.
And it's so different to what we've done on any other trip as well. Because I've been lucky enough I've done the Sri Lanka trip and I've done the South Africa trip as a guest.
Yeah.
And now I'm here on Indo as an employee.
Yeah.
And to see how, although the coaching is similar and the blueprint is similar, the fact that you have to get on a boat to get to this outer reef just changes the
demographic a little bit, doesn't it? Like, even as a surfer, you just expect that every time you go for surf, you're getting in a car, driving to the beach, getting on the beach, you know, and then paddling out, or walking into the water and then paddling out. Whereas it almost kind of makes you feel like more of a surfer.
Getting on a boat
and then jumping off onto, you know, and also it teaches you so much, like a lot more different skills. Look at this boat that just pulled in.
Yeah, I know. What is that?
It's surfboards.
Is that a surf school?
That is a surf school.
Wow. Those that can't see, it's a boat with surfboards on the side of the boat, filled with people.
Oh my goodness.
That'll be interesting for the guys to negotiate.
Yeah, man. I always say to people, like, I'm super proud of what I do as a coach as well.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the job is not just coaching. We become.
It's social.
Yeah, we become Jambu. Can I get a plate of fruit plate? Yeah. We become like mentors. We become, you know, best friends to people, to these guests. Like, you know, the people depend on us quite heavily. Oh, I'll have a bite and you can have another piece.
Pause for our sponsors. Brought to you by Bruschetta.
Nusa. Pretty tropical out here. Pretty amazing spot. Always so grateful to be here and share these experiences with people. And you know, you know, and like everybody, I guess, that have come through Ticket to Ride knows, like you make lifelong friends, man. You know, I got people on this trip that I met 4 years ago that are actually my best friends that just travel wherever I go. You know, I basically spend 10 months of the year running surf trips. And it's kind of hard to find time to be able to travel to other places and, you know, meet up with people that are not from, you know, the same place that I'm from.
Yeah.
So to be able to have people that are willing to come and, you know, come out and spend time with you and come in these trips, and, you know, I think it's quite
really nice.
Quite an amazing thing.
Even yesterday we had Annabelle turn up.
Well, exactly.
Annabelle's been coming to the surf house for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And then she just turned up in Nusa Lembongan, gave me a message and said, "Are you guys still here?"
Yeah.
And then she came and had dinner with us. It's really nice, that sort of aspect of community in Ticket to Ride. Like you said, it becomes like you become best friends with people, you become family. And all these testimonials that we've been posting about on Instagram, everyone seems to say the same thing, which is the people that you meet on the trips is like the highlight.
Yeah.
And one of the best memories that you make is the people that you meet.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of go on your own little surf trip.
Yeah.
And like for example, Donna and Anais are on this trip, and Katie is coming, Annabelle is here.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys were on the South Africa trip and have pre-organized the fact that they're all going to be here.
Yeah.
So that's really nice that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And continues to happen. I mean, Charlie, who used to be manager of the surf school, one of my best friends now.
Yeah.
Although I met Charlie in Perranporth.
Yeah.
Surfed with him, tried to surf with him every day.
Yeah.
Tried to learn from him. Somehow he likes me as a friend, so that's good.
You're a very likable person, bro. Sometimes.
Thanks. Once I've had food in me, I'm fine. Yeah.
Or some coffee. That's one thing that me and Ru share is a good cup of coffee.
Yes.
I enjoy making Ru a good cup of coffee.
Can we make one?
We can. Actually, my coffee's not there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But maybe tomorrow's episode.
Maybe.
And yeah, so I mean, tell me more about your experience being on this island, and I guess the islands in general.
Yeah, so because I've had a lot of experience in Sri Lanka, coming to Indo, I kind of had that expectation in my head of the islands, how people live on the island. Sri Lanka's very much still in its development stage, especially the south coast. Colombo obviously is quite westernized.
Yeah.
Oh, go on then. Is that Ollie?
That's Amelia, and that was Lucy. Oh,
who's
that?
that?
Lucy? No, that's not Lucy.
Oh. Yeah. So with Sri Lanka being on its like growth and like introduction to Western development and things like that, when I got here, I was a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Canggu and Bali, landing in Denpasar, and then that drive to the hotel.
Yeah.
Is kind of overwhelming, and there's surf shops and there's boutiques and there's a Starbucks, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a lot more developed than I thought. But then still really nice, you know, and I can see that there is an aesthetic there for certain people. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you, Jambu.
Fresh fruit. I really enjoyed when we got to Lombok. Lombok reminded me more about what the south coast of Sri Lanka is like.
Yeah.
In terms of little less people, little less
infrastructure development. Yeah.
And the fact that we got to go on a boat to the surf spot every day was really cool. And then coming to Nusa, only experiencing, I guess, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 full days in Nusa Lembongan. Very different as well. All the 3 islands that we've been to have been so different. This one is a bit, like you said, a bit more like honeymoon-esque. There's families around, there's little kids running around. But the weirdest thing is that it's this super chilled island, but there is probably one of the best surf spots we've been at all trip, right outside. And it was one of the least busy we had. There was maybe 15 people, I think, which was incredible.
Probably less actually, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I spent more time here, Nusa Lembongan would be my favorite spot. Lombok is currently, because I had some pretty good waves.
Yeah.
I was very inspired to shoot a lot. Get the drone out, get in the sea, shoot from the sea.
It's also such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And with amazing backdrops.
It's actually unreal with like the volcano and all the palm trees and stuff.
In the background, yeah.
It almost feels like you're not in Indonesia, but you could maybe be in Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
Or at least a Polynesian island.
I think myself and Cleo went to a place and she said the same thing. She was like, oh, it's like quite a crazy mix between like Hawaii and the Polynesian islands, you know, or, I mean, at least specifically like Samoa. But yeah, it is exactly that. Incredible backdrops and just beautiful, yeah, very picturesque kind of vibe.
And also the cool thing with the trip is it's 6 weeks broken into 3 2-week trips.
Yeah.
So after the Bali trip finished, we had all these other people join.
Yeah.
We were doing the island hopping.
Yeah.
Or the island hopping and the road trip.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of what we mentioned before, that community and that the people that come on these trips are all really easy to get on with, super chilled.
Yeah.
We're all here for the same goal. To like get better at surfing and to just hang out and meet cool people.
And I guess the difference is like you kind of, when you go on these trips, you kind of want to meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
And share those experiences with people that want that same experience, right? That's why I think people get on so well and why. Oh, look at that one.
Look at that back wave. Oh, is that Cooper?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Fast, huh?
The waves have been weird, eh? It's definitely dropped off since yesterday. Do you have any batteries?
Battery, like
Canon batteries?
Not for your camera.
No.
My camera has different batteries.
I might have to put this thing on charge. Yeah, I mean, filming from here was fine. Just I wish the guys had caught more waves.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky out there. But it looks like there's some energy. Looks like it's picking up a bit.
Something's pulsing in, isn't it?
And this is the one thing. The tide's dropping out. So this is the one. I mean, the high tide was probably an hour and a bit ago.
Yeah.
And I guess this is the you know, why it's sometimes a bit fickle in between the day. Like there'll be a day, like a time in the day where it'll just be pumping for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it'll kind of just take a dip and there'll be a lull for like ages. And then maybe in the evening it'll pick up again. Oh no.
Kind of what it's doing now, even out front.
Oh,
I just saw a
Lucy.
wave come through.
Yeah, exactly. Bravo. So yeah, man, it's interesting. I mean, it just shows you like the differences in the different spots that we go to, like, and how much it changes so much. And I think it's part of the adventure part of things as well. You know?
It's like the Ticket to Ride ethos, mantra is we take your surfing to the next level, but we also take you on an adventure. It's a surf adventure rather than a surf trip.
Yeah, and we also teach you about patience.
Yes.
We also teach you to enjoy when the waves are good.
And have the correct mindset when the waves aren't.
When the waves are, yeah, when you're kind of having to wait for the waves to be good. Oh, that is Donna.
Donna.
No, that was not Donna. What?
Oh.
Was that Annabelle? Might have been Annabelle. Because it was a yellow board. Yellow.
She had a red board, no?
Sorry, red and, yeah. But no, the top is yellow. The bottom is red. It's also like, I think the culture around surfing is amazing out here, man. Like in Indonesia in general, you know, like I've always said, it's for me surfing or coming to Indonesia. It was always like the mecca of surfing, and I was fortunate enough to be able to come here with Ticket to Ride. You know, otherwise I don't know if I would have had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Is that a good pineapple?
To talk about adventure stuff as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
We've got a couple other things on the itinerary for while we're in Nusa Lembongan.
Oh yeah, what are we doing? Because unfortunately I'm leaving tomorrow. So what are you guys going to get up to after I leave?
We just start your GoFundMe page so we can
Yeah.
keep Ru in Indonesia. Click the link below. Go donate.
Go fund me.
Yeah, well, since it is such a beautiful island, we don't just surf every day. And some days it's kind of hard to surf every day, or throughout the day, whatever. So we've got some manta ray snorkeling on the cards, which we'll probably do on Wednesday, which should be really fun. We'll hopefully get some video footage of that, send it to Ruru, can put it up as
Put it online.
Yeah, put it online. And then, obviously we have a bit of because we're on an island surrounded by water, we'll kind of go and see the rest of the island as well. There's another little island called Nusa Lembongan that we're going to go check out. Also got a really fun point break, left-hand point break on it. And we're surrounded by volcanoes on Bali, Lombok behind us as well. But yeah, apart from the surfing on Nusa Lembongan, there's also the diving aspect of things. So people come here mainly to dive as well.
The diving sounds fun. I'm kind of gutted I'm missing that. That would have been cool. We got a guy snorkeling right out in front of us, right? Oh wait,
Yeah.
what is that?
Maybe not.
What is that? An anchor.
Oh, it's just a moor. Yeah,
A mooring line.
a mooring line. I mean, if you want, we should just if the guys are keen, we go out after the surf or something, take a boat out over there into that channel there, and just go dive, go free diving with the snorkel and a mask.
See what
And
we
then
see.
at least you get to see some turtles, some beautiful
wow.
parrotfish. It's a cool little vibe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it is a bit gutting that you have to leave tomorrow. Otherwise, it also could have been fun to do tomorrow. But
Yeah.
it's
Nothing
like
we
also
can do.
you might miss your ferry back to Bali if you end up doing that. But yeah,
Which we would never want to happen.
no, definitely not. I mean, apart from that, also there's some cool things like that pontoon.
Yeah,
The
there's
water
like a
park
slide.
is a slide on the ocean, and then there's also what's that thing that you get on behind the boat and it picks up like that?
Parasailing or something, right?
It's
You're
on
on a
like a
big-
tube.
You're on a parachute behind a speedboat.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the tubing stuff. I mean, I guess for you as well, we've done quite a bit since being in Bali.
Yeah.
Like we've, fortunately,
Went to
you might have
Uluwatu.
missed the volcano, but went to Uluwatu. We also did the whitewater river rafting,
That was class.
which is super fun.
That was really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to do here, like
Yeah.
horse riding, ATV, as normal things you would do on a holiday,
Yeah.
vacation vibe.
Another sort of thing as well that we didn't mention before about Ticket to Ride trips is, although it is predominantly about surfing, you do all these extra activities on
Yeah.
the side, like whitewater rafting.
Yeah,
When you go to Sri Lanka, you go up to Ella, you go to Sigiriya, you do Adams Peak, Kandy. In Sri Lanka, South Africa trip is all like surfing and then extra, surfing and then extra. We did Table Mountain,
Table
we
Mountain.
did bungee jumping, we did
waterfall.
waterfalls, that thing in J Bay with the
Zip line.
zip line.
Do some
We
Do
did the
some-
trampoline park.
trampoline park, community projects as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
go on to
that's
see.
it's really cool. Cool little company to work for, eh?
Yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. That's for sure. Anything better. Yeah, that's why I say it's quite interesting with that, because when we take you to a location,
Yeah.
you get to kind of see, you get to see it as a whole for what it is and not just surfing.
Yeah.
The surfing aspect of things is quite important for us. You getting the best coaching you could possibly think of
Oh.
is the best for us. That's pretty.
Thanks.
But at the same time, you know, we wanna share the experiences of being in a certain location, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite important, especially because people are looking at these locations going, oh, they really want to go there, but you know, maybe they, you know, a bit scared of traveling alone, or you know, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing about South Africa and Indonesia. It's like, I wouldn't have gone to Indonesia or South Africa or Sri Lanka for that matter if it wasn't for Ticket to Ride, you know, if we didn't offer this adventure package.
Yeah.
And it just seems like it resonates with a lot of people, and I think we just, got to keep pushing.
I kind of don't think anyone should feel bad that they've booked a travel trip with a company.
Yeah.
Like I was speaking to Emma, who extended her stay. So Emma did 2 weeks in Bali.
Supposed to only do 2 weeks in Bali.
Yeah, and then left us, but then ended up staying in the same place as us in Lombok. And then while being in Lombok and talking to everyone about whether or not what she should do, she's decided to book on again. So she's now back again for Nusa Lembongan and the next 2 weeks. And it's kind of a thing that I had a conversation with her about. No one should ever feel like they're cheating if they're traveling, but they're not doing it on their own.
Yeah.
They're not organizing it themselves. They're not like making mistakes. And I think you don't need to feel bad about finding a trip like Ticket to Ride and
company
and getting to experience all these things and having the lack of stress of not having to organize it. Because you have yourself, Max, and Lucy who all organize it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's great. Like even when I was in South Africa as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, I don't think I realized how much behind the scenes is done, because then after the trip I went to Oz and then got so overwhelmed about where do I go now? Where do I get my next piece of money from? Or where am I staying next? And this is this much a night. And yeah, super stressful.
So much to think about, yeah.
I think I am an advocate for booking a travel trip with someone.
Yeah.
Unless you have a partner that I do, like Lucy, who loves organizing stuff.
Well, then you're lucky.
Then I'm just quite lucky, yeah.
Yeah. You just go, okay, babe, where are we going to next?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I think for the viewers out there as well, if you guys are interested in other places to visit and you enjoy Ticket to Ride as an adventure company and what we stand for, our philosophy and ethos, we want to be able to expand as well within reason. And we're looking at other locations. But if you guys have any other suggestions of places that you'd like to go visit, we're very much open to it.
Leave a comment down below.
Yeah, and I think for most of it, like you might find that a lot of us have already been, already been to those places.
Yeah, because we've done our own little surf trips as well. Oz, New Zealand, America, Spain, Portugal. All these places we've surfed before, or at least a lot of our coaches have. But we just don't do trips there yet.
Yeah, definitely a place that I think we need to explore a bit more is Central America. Yeah. Well, we've been to Costa Rica before. Mm-hmm. There is loads of other spots around. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
To go check out. So yeah, there's possibilities are endless, man. The world is so big, and there's so much to explore. I mean, why not do it with Ticket to Ride?
And if you want to book a trip, we'll leave all of the links down below to all of the separate locations. Currently going to Indo, Sri Lanka, South Africa, and Mozambique. And we'll leave them all down below. Click one, book a trip. I might be there. David might be there.
Probably be there.
Probably will be there.
It'd be good to also just like, if you're not sure about what we do and how we do it, go check out the Instagram page. Yeah. Fortunately, Ru's been shooting some really good things. It's all online for you to see, or at least will be if it isn't. So yeah, pretty Thanks, good. David. Yeah, sick job, bro. It's been, look, I mean, just from my point, it's been amazing having you on these trips. It's taken a lot of pressure off, having to constantly be on the Instagram and trying to post things. But apart from that, also just getting really good content that everybody can enjoy while they're sitting at home or while they're in their office, enjoying their boring. Of being by a beach.
Exactly. Getting served fresh fruit.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, thank you, David.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, bro.
Chat.
It's been great. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want more of this, let us know.
Yeah.
Comment below. Click on the links. Do what you got to do.
Like and subscribe.
And
see you in the next one.
Yeah, man.
You.
Cheers. Sick, bro.